Guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike, and today we are taking a look at every single horror movie coming out this month in the dark year of our Lord 2023, July of 2023. And I just watched all these trailers with our Patreon members on a live stream, and I'll put a link down below to that if you guys want to check it out on our Patreon. If you want to be kept up to date in one place on everything that's coming out theatrically, VOD, all that stuff. If something looks really, really bad, I mean, if it looks like it was made for a nickel and a slice of pizza, then I won't add it on here. But most of the stuff that's going to be out every single month will be in these videos. So if you guys want to get that every month, click subscribe and the bell so you're notified, and let's just get into it. July 7th, Insidious The Red Door comes out. This is the 5th Insidious movie. Is it the 5th or the 6th? I think it's the 5th. Fuck my ass with a spoon. Either way, this one goes back to, it follows up Insidious 2, so it's a requel in some ways, even though all the films in this franchise are somewhat of the same timeline. This goes back and it actually picks up with the family from Insidious 2 that we saw in Insidious 1 and 2, which I like because those to me are, and I think to a lot of people, are the best two Insidious movies. And this one's going to be directed by Patrick Wilson, which makes it a little bit more interesting as well. So I'll definitely be in theaters for that. We'll definitely have reviews and coverage for that as it comes out. Also on July 7th, a TV series coming to Amazon called The Horror of Dolores Roach. It's about this woman who goes to prison. She gets out. She's trying to start a fresh new life as a masseuse, and a bunch of stuff goes wrong. She ends up accidentally having to murder somebody, and then her kind of serial killer path just takes off. It looks like it's funny, but it's gross because we have people in this trailer eating the remains of human beings in empanadas, which is some fucking Sweeney Todd shit, and it's really gnarly and gross, but it seems like it's all like kind of tongue-in-cheek, kind of meant to be funny, but also lots of dismemberment, Dad. 4 days later, on July 11th, we got two VOD films coming out. One called The Abode, and I'll be honest with you, the story seems crazy in this one. We got pirates, we got Indians, we got a bunch of stuff going on, but it just doesn't look like it was filmed, you know, for anything more than a pack of Cheez-Its and a coupon to the Piggly Wiggly. I mean, the literal actual IMDb plot synopsis is: in the 1800s, a young, handsome Native American man named Talico is caught with the wife of a merciless pirate known as Redbeard, who then orders him to be burned alive at the stake. Witnessing Talico's execution, Redbeard's wife Laura hangs herself. Talico's spear never ascends and haunts anyone who comes near the old house. Almost 300 years later, Laura and Talico meet face to face and learn that everything happens for a reason. And I'm like, what? It's too much, man. If you're doing a low budget movie, you got to stick to like Steve Orders Pizza and it's haunted. I'm kidding. I hope it's awesome. There's another movie that looks like a VOD movie that this one just blew my mind when I watched the trailer, but it's called The Breach. It says it's produced by Slash, like Guns N' Roses Slash, which took me by surprise. But when you watch this trailer, there's just so much going on. I'm pretty sure there's a painting full of like cut off severed chicken heads that are actually like moving and floating like their souls inside of Freddy's body. There's some really scary moments in this trailer for sure. There's many different genres going on in this trailer. You got to watch the trailer for it at least. I'm definitely going to check this one out when it comes out. And it all ends with like a lasagna meat puppet snowman looking fucking thing. July 14th, the flip side of all that, Bird Box Barcelona is coming to next Netflix, or Barcelona, or however you say it. I'm not cultured. That's why I have a YouTube channel about people getting stabbed in the neck. No Sandra Bullock this time around. It's a new group of people that are doing this one, and the dude who directed Carriers is actually following this up. It was weird to go back and watch this trailer because I completely forgot Bird Box existed and everything about it. I had to just like rework my brain and remember a lot of stuff. And it's the one where when that had Sandra Bullock, where they see the things, it just drives them crazy, and then it turns into The Happening, and they all, you know, murder suicide themselves. But this is the sequel to that, and it looks like it just continues that same thing. Also on July 14th, there's a movie called The Flood, and this is literally, it stars Casper Van Dien, and it says a lot, and also it is just Alexander Aha's Crawl, but on half the budget, or on 1/9 of the budget. I just don't understand why anybody without the budget for a regular movie is going to say, we should do a disaster film with fucking alligators. July 21st is packed, and this might be my pick of the, if it's not The Breach, it's going to be Cobweb. This movie looks wild, and at first glance you'd be like, oh, this is sort of a generic sort of horror movie. There's a lot of parallels to The Boogeyman that just came out, and his parents, though, is the first note that this could be something special, because it's Lizzie Kaplan from 10 Cloverfield Lane, and then it's Anthony Starr, who's Homelander in The Boys. So as soon as you see them, you're like, oh, fucking know these people. Yeah, at first it's generic, because I said it's this kid waking up and he's seeing stuff in his room and he's scared, and then the teacher's like, he's been drawing these crazy pictures. But then as the trailer goes on and it gets creepier and creepier, and the parents start to act like fucking cuckoo beans, then you start to go, oh, there's something more to this. And when you add the acting capabilities of these people and some of the scares in this trailer and some of the gnarliness in it, this is looking like a really good movie. So I hope to see something awesome come out of this. Also on July 21st is Oppenheimer, which is not a horror movie, but Christopher Nolan, Toasted Chao Chalupa himself, has been going around saying that it's basically, yeah, it's a horror movie. It's going to fuck you up that bad, Greg. Mother May I comes out. Now this one looks like it's going to be more of a VOD select theaters type of situation, but it stars again Kyle Gallner, who's just creating the craziest, wildest horror resume ever. And if you've never seen Dinner in America, not a horror movie, but just an amazing movie. If you like movies like SLC Punk and shit like that, every time I talk about Kyle Gallner, I gotta talk about Dinner in America. You gotta see it. Amazing in that movie. It's this guy, and he goes into the woods, and his mom's passed away, and she leaves him a house, and he goes there with his fiance, and they trip balls. And then after they get done tripping, the fiance starts acting super weird and like making him scramby eggs and starting to act all mom. And it kind of feels like the mom has inhabited his fiance, which is just a really fucked up thing to think about. That one could be really good. Natty Knox comes out on the same date on July 21st. And this is the complete opposite of the spectrum. Look, as soon as the trailer came on, it's like directed by the director of Halloween 4. I was like, holy shit. Like, that's crazy. That's wild. And then they start to show the cast, and it's like Danielle Harris, and it's Bill Moseley, and it's Robert Englund. And I'm like, it's a gimmick. I love the idea of friends making horror movies. I think that's all cool and stuff like that. But when you kind of watch the trailer and you see how it unfolds, the synopsis for this thing is a small town babysitter and the kids she is looking after struggle to survive a serial killer on Halloween Eve. It is so just, I'm just getting a vibe. It's just like it was produced by a convention or something. And that maybe that's not a bad thing. A lot of these movies just don't turn out to be of the highest quality. I hope they are, because like I said, I love the cast, and I think that's what they're doing. They're really trying to pull in horror fans to do this horror movie. I just don't see anything in the trailer except for this one face that looks that gnarly to me, but I'm rooting for it. Don't get me wrong. July 28th, not really horror, but gateway horror. You've got Haunted Mansion, which I've heard a bunch of people say that, oh, that looks like shit. I think it looks like ass. I enjoyed the trailers for it. I thought it looked pretty good. I thought there was a couple good jokes in there, and I'll totally take the kids to see that. But that same weekend, though, an actual horror movie comes out in Talk to Me, which we did a trailer reaction, which I'll put at the end of this video for that, where it looks like it could be this year's Smile. Could be this year's original kind of horror. It's weird when horror mixes in an original story with kind of that Friday night party jump scare sort of audience. Sometimes they can just create magic. And there's movies on here like The Breach or like Cobweb that I'm shocked that those weren't put into theaters, because it's like that looks like this kind of movie too. The thing that could be original hit and like do the thing that Barbarian did, or do what Jordan Peele's done. But we'll see. It looks pretty great to me. It's a neat little horror idea that also mixes in with, again, the fun Friday night horror audience, horror crowd. So that is it, except for one more. July 28th is a fucking banger of a week, because I just watched this trailer for the first time. Sympathy for the Devil, not listed as a horror movie, but it's got enough to me. Like, if you can watch Joyride or something like that and feel horror vibes to it, then this is good enough for me. But Sympathy for the Devil stars Nicolas Cage and Joel Kinnaman, full-on crazy Cage, in a movie that is pretty much, to me, it's an entire vibe of Judgment Night with Dennis Leary. He hijacks this dude's car and takes this dude hostage, and the guy's wife is literally delivering their first baby as it's going on, and there's just a whole lot of dialogue, kind of like Collateral type of situation. He's holding people hostage. It just looks wild as shit, and it's full-on crazy Cage.
Really? I'm not who you think I am. I never even told you who I think you are, so how could you know you're not who I think you are? Tick, 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 tick. Sit back down!
As long as they're not using that as a gimmick to protect the holes of the movie, and the movie lives up to Crazy Cage and deserves Crazy Cage, this could be a really special movie. I can't wait to see it. So, guys, that is everything coming out this month in horror. Sorry I missed this video last month, but again, if you want to be up to date on all this stuff, then just make sure you click the bell so that you're notified when we make videos, and subscribe, and love your fucking faces. I hope you guys have an amazing 4th of July and rest of your entire month.
Hello, listener. Do you like scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie? Well, Jay and Mike like scary movies too. You should go and subscribe to their podcast, We Watched a Movie. Because if you don't, I'll gut you like a... Well, I think you get the idea. enjoy yourselves while you still can.